Well, thank you so much for coming down today.
Yeah.
Introduce yourself for everybody listening.
I'm Duyen. I'm from Vietnam. I moved to America from 2012, and it's 8 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you own Cake Bar.
Yeah, I'm an owner of Cake Bar.
Yeah. I went as I was editing the video yesterday from Gear Hars. So for those who don't know, I work at Gear Hars, restaurant equipment, and Gear Hars did a lot of work with the Salt City Market, and we just had a photo shoot at Gear Hars for the entrepreneurs, and they brought in the Stay Fresh design people. Jess over there is a really talented photographer. But you were there, and we were doing a video of like a little interview, and so I was just editing your video on Friday. And I have to say, everyone that I've met from the Salt City Market, because I've had a number of people now on the podcast, I'm just fascinated, absolutely fascinated by your stories. And, you know, I was able to learn a little bit more from your interview that we did the other day about like your mom who had the bakery in Vietnam and everything. And so anyways, I went online and I was Googling the Cake Bar to see some of the stuff that you've done, and they look absolutely phenomenal. They're beautiful.
Thank you.
Is it the moon cakes? Is that what they're called?
Yeah.
Those were unreal.
Yeah, me and Ngọc, the Mama Hai, we plan to have like mooncake festival event soon. So because actually last weekend in Vietnam, and basically like Vietnam, China, like Asian area, we have a mooncake festival for like autumn festival thing. Yeah. So she wanna bring the savory food into the event, and I wanna bring the sweet side into the event. So
nice.
Yeah, we're planning for that.
If that happens, if you have a private moon festival party, whatever, I want to be invited to that.
Okay, of course.
Yeah, they looked absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, I mean, everything that I saw that you've posted looks absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
So tell me a little bit. I mean, I know your mom had a bakery in Vietnam, and when you moved here, she was doing some stuff for people in the community. But is that kind of how you got into baking? Was just because your mom had the bakery?
No, honestly, I didn't want to be a baker at all because I grew up with my mom a baker. She never have time for us, especially on a holiday. It's like she always so busy. The whole house is full of cake, and I really hate it because I just feel like why my friend can hang out on a holiday but not me, you know. And then when we moved here, I didn't want it to, but when I go to work at the tea place at downtown, I was like, why are young people here like things like this? Like, because to me it's different. I come here from 2012, so I grew up in Vietnam. I know a lot of things, like really like Vietnamese culture, of course, but beside that, because the time that I grow up in Vietnam, we growing up with another, like the whole country changing from other culture too. So the young community adopted a lot of new things from other Asian country, and also another like other country too. So I actually live in Saigon for 6 years before I moved here. And then every day after school, me and my friend hang out at coffee shop. We basically, every time we say, okay, let's hang out, we go to the coffee shop.
Yeah.
And the coffee shop that have like beautiful drink with like coffee, milk tea, you know, juice, like tea, all kind of thing. And then they have a really beautiful dessert because we really, really care about how we're going to post a picture online.
Yeah.
So like, we hang out with friends is the one thing, but we want to post a nice picture on our social media is another thing. So the coffee shop over there is really like strong about they have to keep going to make a beautiful and good dessert, or you're gonna get out of the industry, you know. So when I moved here and I see like I went to a couple bakery and like they design so simple. Like even my mom make like really like vintage kind of cake, but it's still better than this. Like they cannot even make the roll is the right way like my mom make, and I'm just like, why is like this, you know? And then that is just the look, but then the flavor, the taste, I just like why is that really like simple? Like it have to be chocolate. It have to be peanut butter. It have to be carrot, all kind of thing. And then I was like, well, every single bakery should think about something new. Like they cannot just keep make exactly the same thing over and over. I mean, I really I try a lot of bakery here, and I really think that a lot of like old bakery, they have a really good product, and I really like it. But also at the same time, I'm just like, what if people sick of it?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to eat the same cake every time I have a birthday party. Like, think about my family have like more than 25 people. 25 birthday, you eat the same exactly cake, like, no, I don't want it. So when I work at the tea shop, it's lucky for me because the manager really open. He's like, yeah, do whatever you want. But the first thing I was like, your milk tea is wrong. Like, I drink milk tea 2 times a day in Vietnam. Like, seriously, we are like, oh, skip class, go to drink bubble tea, So, like, it's not right. Like, you need to fix it. But he didn't trust me because he's saying, like, no, we do a right thing, So I was like, no, you did the wrong thing. So I just go to the market, get all the ingredients, make for him, and I just drink it and see what are different.
Yeah.
So after that, he trusted me, like, okay, you can fit the recipe. Like,
what tea shop?
The Roji tea shop.
Oh, did they close?
I think they do now. Yeah. It's sad, but...
Yeah.
So that is when I get into, like, fixing the recipe and everything for them, for the drink.
Yeah.
And then I see back then, that is the time when Vietnam have a lot of, like, new dessert from, especially in Korea.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I want to try it. I just want to try it because I never try it and I cannot try it here. So I want to try it. So the only way to try it, I have to make it myself. So I make it and like, oh, it's good. So I brought for my friend at work. And it's like, oh yeah, it's good. So I try to think a way that bring it into Syracuse.
Yeah.
So I make like a little bit thing for the shop. But because the shop is not really designed for like baking, so like it really limited. And at the same time, I have to finish school. So I will finish my graphic design degree at OCC. And then after that, I'm just, instead of getting the job, I just be a full-time baker there. So that is when we get into the, not actually kitchen baking and stuff. And then that is the first year. It's like, I think in 2018, I start having the holiday season baking and stuff, like start baking pie or like roll cake stuff for the customer. And then, but then I feel like, no, when you work for someone, you still have a limit because he's just like, no, I want you to have exactly the same menu every season. Like, but I don't want to limit it because think about how many fruit you have in the summertime. If you only pick 5 kinds of cake, what means you only can use 5 kinds of fruit. But there's like 10, 20, 30 kinds of fruit out there. Like, why do we can only limit like 5 kinds, So I'm like, I want something else. I want something like, I don't want people to control me. I want something that I can just create it whatever I want. And then the way I'm making cake is like, I try a crazy thing. I give it to you. Usually I don't tell my friend what is it until they eat it. But I cannot say that to the customers. I have to write all the ingredients,
Yeah.
But I'm not afraid that people like don't like it or like it.
Yeah.
Because like, there's many people out there. Some people just try it because it sounds, stupid. I want to try it for fun. Or some people like, no, I want to try it because it's interesting. So like, I was like, I'm not afraid to make anything. That's why I make all kinds of things like the pizza cupcake. Is like, a lot of people hate it, but I'm surprised a lot of people love it. And like, it's like, my boyfriend is like, don't make it. It's so wrong. I'm like, why is it wrong? He's like, but think about it, pizza is savory and then it is sweet. And like, yeah, that's why it's called candy pepperoni, okay? Or like, but then when I make it, a lot of people actually message me like, I love it so much. And I was like, oh.
So how did you make it?
I actually bake the pepperoni to take all the oil out and then make the caramel and then simmer it in the caramel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What was the cake made out of? Was it just cake?
The cake is the mozzarella and basil.
Oh, wow.
With we have the tomato smoothie in Vietnam that make from tomato and condensed milk. Okay. That make it really like milky.
Yeah.
I really love it. A lot of people don't like it because they don't like raw tomato, but I love it. So I'm like, I'm gonna make that. So I put the milky sweet tomato smoothie into the the pizza, the filling.
Yeah.
And then as I make, then I'm thinking like, if I make mozzarella frosting, then it cannot keep in the room temperature. So I have to use like, no, whatever. I'm gonna use vanilla because it's gonna make too much flavor.
Yeah.
And then mozzarella chip, and then the candy.
Yeah.
But
That's
the candy is really strong, so it's actually okay.
Yeah. And people liked it.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
So because of that, I'm just like, no, I want something that I can have no limit in my creative because
Yeah.
I want to try it. Even people like it or not like it, I want people to try it. I just feel like I have to make it, you know. And then at the same time, now is the Mama High. Karen told me like, hey, apply to South City Market.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? You think I can do something? Like, as I make things for fun. I make it because I want my friend to try something, you know, fun to eat. And they're like, no, just do it. So I talked to a couple of my friends. They're like, just do it. If you don't get it, then whatever, you know, at least you learn something.
Yeah.
And I applied, and then I got it. So I'm really happy.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
29.
Yeah,
Wow.
29 in like 2 weeks.
Okay. Yeah. And so you were saying before, like in Vietnam, like you and your friends and people would just go hang out at the coffee shop. I've always been trying to figure out, like, there's the store on Erie Boulevard.
It's called Tula Jour.
Yes, thank you.
I was manager there for 6 months.
Oh, were you? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you like it? Are they making everything there?
No.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the thing about that though, like, I love Miss Han a lot. They really nice. But that is when I learn about a big corporation restaurant. You know,
that's
like
a big company.
It's harder to deal with the customer than the product, the stuff, or like the staff. But with local business, we have to deal with the product more than the customer. The customer understand for the local business more than a bigger company, you know?
Yeah.
And then, honestly, though, the more of inconvenient to me with that job is like, everything you order just click.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Is that pretty typical? Like, I know you, like back in Vietnam where everywhere it's the coffee shops. Is it set up like that where you kind of have the pastries out on a thing and people can go and pick it up themselves? Or is it look more like an American coffee shop where it's like specialty coffee more and not so much focused on the pastry?
No. So most of the bakery that have the same type of serving like Tula Jour is all from Korean company. They do have that in Vietnam. It's really, really popular too.
Yeah.
But with the not like traditional, but like the model Vietnamese coffee shop is just similar to the coffee shop here. But they focus on the way it like decoration, the look and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course like it's like everywhere. So you know, like how young people who, when they say like let's hang out, they go to the bar or something.
Yeah.
We don't go to the bar.
Right.
We just go to the coffee shop because they open almost like 24 hours. Some people like open zero like 24 hours and they always busy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you used to seeing a lot of like live music in those coffee shops and bands playing music, or is it really just hanging out with friends and?
That is different kind of coffee shop. They have that kind of coffee shop. Usually it's gonna say the name of the coffee shop like acoustic.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have the live music some of them have every night. Some of them have like weekend only. But more of the coffee shop they don't have the live music. They're gonna just like the place that people come to hang out.
Yeah. And it's so focused on the way things look and the food, like the pastries and the cakes and things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't have anything like that here.
Yeah. I mean, if you want, I can send you some of the link.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, in Vietnamese, but like, it's so beautiful. Like, because they focus on how they decorate the feeling, the whole concepts that go together.
So I think like, you know, when we have some great bakeries here in Syracuse. The Sweet Praxis, I think, is maybe in my opinion, one of the best right now that's open because they really do a good job. A lot of their stuff is vegan friendly. A lot of it's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Like they decorate it very well. It tastes really good. It's a beautiful cafe. So I think the Sweet Praxis does a great job. But I think of like the coffee shops that we have, and I love them. Peaks Coffee is one of my favorites. Recess is great. Cafe Cubal does a good job, but a lot of them do focus on just the actual brewed coffee.
Yes.
And they do a great job of roasting coffee and pouring and brewing it properly. But I feel like for a lot of them, like the pastry is like way afterthought. Like it's, at the last second, we have to add baked goods. Recess makes their own and things like that. But it's nothing compared to like the pictures I've seen that you make, the stuff that you produce. And I think the reason is the cost. Cost of labor is so much. Like somebody that's so talented as you are, if Recess Coffee, for example, no knock against Recess, but if Recess was going to hire somebody like you to come in and do these beautiful cakes and pastries, they're going to be paying you a lot of money. And then they're going to have to charge a lot of money for those cakes.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to make that connection. Like, why is there such an emphasis on the decorations of it
It's because I love beautiful things, like, also my mom, when I grow up, my mom always teach me, like, you don't, you use your labor, your work to make money, not, don't focus on money too much. You want to make the thing that make you happy, and you want to make the thing that you feel like you spend the time that make people happy. Yeah. I mean, it do take a lot of time though. Someday I make like 10 of the pumpkin cake look like pumpkin like all day long. But then after all, I'm just like, wow, I'm happy. Like, I want people to have the beautiful cake on the table in the Thanksgiving dinner. You know what I mean? That is what I focus on. So same thing when I have the business, I want to offer them to delivery for them too. Because like, to me, it's not just, I feel so stressed to take money from people, to be honest. And I want to have the service that I make a cake. It has to be good. It has to look good. But then it's not like by the time they pick up my cake to their home, I take the money and I'm okay. I want to have the service that they have the whole cake still beautiful to on the table and eat it with a happiness. That is what I want to do. So everything's up because I like beautiful things. To be honest. Right. But that is one of the service I want to put into the business, because I have couple experience when I make a cake for the customer and then they brought home. I know I deliver for them. Lucky I brought for them. But then because the weather, because like all kind of thing is melted when I got in there. And I feel like, oh my God, I'm so lucky because I'm the one delivery. So I told them, I'm sorry, I need to go home and fix it. So I have the time like to fix it, and I make it on time. But then that make me really think like, what if they are the one that take the cake home? Like I cannot just like be done with the responsibility if they already took the cake. No, it's not what I wanna do.
How long ago did you work at Roji? I
really love that place.
I loved Roji. I used to love going there.
So I came here 2012.
Okay.
I worked there from April 2013. And 2015 I went back to Vietnam for 2 months. So I quit because I was thinking like I want something new. Like I want to make coffee. So I actually quit Roji and worked at Tulajor. But then 2016 when I finished school, Christian called me back and like, hey, you want to go back to work? I want to work more on a baking side. Like, okay. So I worked until last October when I get into the South City market. I'm just like, it's not good to be there anymore.
So I wonder if you made, because maybe 2 years ago at Christmas time, I bought the Yule log.
That is all from me.
It was beautiful. It was gorgeous. And honestly, them posting about and how it looked I never would have thought, I want to buy a Yule log for, to bring to the family Christmas or whatever it was. And I saw how beautiful it was, and I was like, okay, I want to buy that.
Thank you.
Is it typical, because I know Roji did a lot of like vegan friendly and vegetarian things. Is that typical in like your baking to focus on vegan friendly things, or is it just kind of what was happening there?
To be honest though, like I grow up like in Vietnamese culture, we not have thing called like vegan cake. So it's actually a challenge for me. And working at Roji, it when I make something that's not vegan, I have to think about how can I make it to be vegan too, because a lot of not just don't talk about customer, but half of the people work there is vegan, and
Yeah.
I cannot just make food for half of people and then another half cannot eat it. So I have to
Yeah.
make sure that vegan and non-vegan, so everyone can eat it.
Yeah.
So actually, that is really good experience for me to really think about how to make something to be vegan.
Yeah.
But I never in the vegan thing before.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, because you're not used to using, like in Vietnam and you're baking, and like I'm sure your mom's baking, you're using milk. It's not like purposefully trying to substitute for other
Yeah.
things. Yeah.
I mean, yes, a lot of things here we use like milk, whipped cream and stuff.
Yeah.
In Vietnam, if you want to eat vegan dessert, they have the vegan dessert.
Yeah.
They have like bean, they have like coconut
Yeah.
milk, but they don't have cake that vegan, that no
Yeah.
egg or no thing. Like
Yeah.
we don't have anything like that.
Yeah.
And I never know about something like that until I move here.
Yeah. Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I don't like vegan desserts. I like regular desserts.
That is what I'm thinking too. Like when I do the bake sale, a lot of people told me like, "Do you have vegan? Do you have vegan?" I only have to say like, "I'm sorry, I don't have vegan right now." But like, I was thinking like, "Do I wanna make vegan?" Because like, when you're not vegan and you eat vegan stuff, you have to fade in like, "Oh my God, it's not right." Like. I want something perfect. So when I make something vegan, I'm just like, but when you eat something not vegan, it's not the same.
Yeah.
So how can you deliver something that good,
Yeah.
that's similar to not vegan to vegan?
Right.
Like one time I make a tiramisu, vegan tiramisu. How can you make almond cheese to similar to mascarpone? It's
Right.
no way.
Yeah.
So I was thinking like, no. When I say something vegan, I rather say like, okay, almond,
Yeah.
mousse cake. I never say something that similar to the non-vegan cake to the cake. I don't want to do it anymore because I feel like we cannot serve in that because we don't think it's similar. It's
Yeah.
not the same.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's pretty typical. I'm off, like I go to Strong Hearts. Have you ever been there?
Yeah.
Okay, Strong Hearts does a wonderful job with their food.
Yeah.
Their milkshakes, their cupcakes that they make are absolutely delicious. And their food as well. What did I have? A chicken bacon ranch sandwich. And it's obviously 100% vegan. And I could not tell the difference. It was a delicious, delicious sandwich. They do such a great job there. And I love that they exist. But I don't think that another restaurant should try to have vegan and vegetarian and a steak on their menu because they're going to try and be accommodating for everybody. I think I look at someone like you as an artist. Okay, so like you're going to school for graphic design, right? So I think you're an artist there just as much as you're an artist in your baking. And so you should be producing your art for people to enjoy. You shouldn't be thinking about the end user and then making an art based on them. Like you said, you want it to be perfect. And so if you want to make something vegan, the cake bar, go for it. But I don't think you should. I think you should do whatever you want to, whatever you're most talented at.
That is what I'm thinking too. When people ask me, I just have to say that. But then after all, because like my brain have to think, lately I have to finish the menu,
Yeah.
And I'm thinking like, do I really want to do it?
Yeah.
Like, do myself feel like I'm comfortable to give them the cake
Right.
that I'm not going to eat?
Yeah.
So I'm just like, maybe not. Maybe they can go to different bakery that offer vegan item that they will happy to serve the customer because they think the recipe is really good.
Yeah.
I still working on my recipe for vegan, and I feel like I don't feel like my heart want to do in it.
Right.
So I'm like, maybe I should not go for vegan then. Even though it's not an option. Like,
Yeah.
of course, it's like a lot more work to just add 1 or 2 items into the menu. But like, do I really want to really happy to do in it?
Yeah.
That make me rethink like, maybe not. Maybe I should give that change for someone else who better than me with it,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that is what I really thinking.
Yeah. So, are you excited about the cafe opening?
Yes, and scared also because like when you work for someone, you're just like, I wake up and then think, okay, what I bake today, and then I show up and then baking, you know. But
Yeah.
now it's like so many different things. I'm like, it's so stressful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it going to work? I mean, because you're 29 years old, going to be 29 years old.
Yeah.
And you're about to own your own bakery, right? With employees, I'd imagine, right? It's not just going to be you.
Yeah.
You're going to have staff and, be running your food cost and everything like that. I mean, that's wild. It's got to be very exciting, I'd imagine.
Yeah. That's why like I'm lucky that I have in like couple years in the industry with like restaurant experience and stuff. I'm really happy that I have like couple friends really helping me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I always want them to have the job that they really want for their life, because coffee shop is really like temporary. You don't even know what happen in the future. I
Yeah.
cannot promise them anything.
Right.
So anytime that they have a better job, I want them to take the job. But in the first couple months, I'm really lucky that I have like 4 friends that gonna work for me who already have experience, already work with me for like 4 or 5 years, and they know me, I know them. They have a really good like customer service experience and everything. And I have my fiance who know about, first of all, he know English more than me. So he helped me with all the paperwork and stuff. And the other thing that he know about, because he learned about computer and stuff, so he know how to help me with website, like update information. And he know a little bit about accounting because he job in the past. So I do lucky to have a lot of people helping me, So I feel like maybe I'm gonna be okay. Like I'm make sure I know what they're doing, but also I'm trust them to do job for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was your mom's? How old were you when your mom had her bakery and her?
Very little. I remember my mom told me that before they married, she went to my grandma hometown and see a baker that making cake, and she like, oh, I want to learn that. My mom is really fun. She really calm. And like, so she like, can I just stay for another week to learn how to make cake? So my grandma's like, okay. And my mom learned cake from that. But she don't really have a bakery. She just make cake for like home and stuff. And then when I turn around like 5 or 7, we have our own house. That is when my mom actually have a bakery. And until we moved to America when I was 21. Yeah.
Okay.
So very long time.
Yeah.
And actually my mom bakery still exists in Vietnam because
Oh, really?
my mom really strict teacher. So she cannot have a lot of students.
Yeah.
But there's only one girl can deal with her. So my mom teach everything for her. And then when we moved to America, my mom said like, just take my bakery.
Wow.
So she took my mom bakery, live in my house right now in Vietnam, and then she really successful there. And then the size to have my mom name in it. So
That's great.
yeah.
I'm just gonna get some. So, what did your mom do here?
She she work at candle factory.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think she happy about it because, same thing too. My mom's like, are you sure you wanna open a restaurant? Like, it's too stressful.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go back there. I'm happy to just show up at work at 8 a.m., go home at 4, and then watch movie, And I'm just like, Mom, I'm young. I want to do something.
What was it like? I mean, you moved here when you were 21. Is it just you and your mom? Do you have siblings?
My whole family. So my parents, my mom, me and my brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was it like to come here from Vietnam?
It's really challenging because first time when we first moved here, the first 6 months, this is the first time ever I saw my dad crying because my mom family is all here now, but my dad family is still in Vietnam, and he really missed his mom and his siblings. So I never see my dad crying before. So my whole family really stressed about it. See, he always want to go home, but also he cannot go home because we here, and we don't want to go back. So the first 6 months to me, I was interesting because like, oh my God, I go to America. So I'm like, why I want to see this, I want to see that.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't even have McDonald's in Vietnam. Like, think about it. So now I can see like something in the movie from my eyes, But then after past 6 months, I'm just like, that is when my boss said like, oh my God, I miss Vietnam. I miss my friend. I miss like every day when I like read up, and then go to school and meet my friend at this play, and then we go to that play.
Yeah.
So daddy, when I get really upset, and then I'm just like, I cannot do that anymore. Like, I feel like I cannot stay here. But then I cannot say that to my mom because my mom have so much hope to stay here.
Yeah.
Because you know how old people only want the best for their kid, and I think this is the best.
Yeah.
So that's why in the 2015, like 3 years after that, I go back to Vietnam.
Yeah.
And the whole time that can keep me going because I work at Roji when I start learning about, first of all, language. They hire me by accident that I don't even know English at all. And I show up and I say, what this shit? Because I don't know English, so I don't know how to talk to them. They just teach me every single thing. And then 8 months of watching this shit, the manager like, go take order. You know English now. Come on, go take order. So that is when I start talking to people, know about like the vegan culture. I know about like how young people, what do young people care here. That you want to see like what they want for the city. Why the hole that in the city that I can feel the gap for the dessert and stuff. So daddy kept me up until 2015 and like, no, I want to go back to Vietnam. Even now, every 2 or 3 years, I really want to go back. Of course, it's my hometown,
Yeah.
So I go back and I realize like, no, I mean, my friend in 2012 is not my friend in 2015 anymore.
Yeah.
They finish school, they have their own family. Some of them even have kids. So I'm just like, everywhere, even Vietnam or America, you still have to keep enough. Like, you have to have your own career. You have to live for your life, for your family. But I already get used to America, so I'm okay here. So that is when I come back here 2015, I'm like, I'm starved for my life now. I'm not gonna think about whatever in the past anymore. Yeah.
Where did you live at in Vietnam?
My hometown is in a really small town that around is a mountain.
Okay.
But we used to call it the Ayun Ba. But a lot of people don't know about that town because it's too little. Like, it's really little. And then when I was senior, I moved to Ho Chi Minh. Yeah.
Okay.
That is when I know about all the coffee shop thing because my hometown is really small. But now when I go back though, they bring the coffee shop from Saigon to my hometown now. So now actually it's really big now. I'm surprised. Like sometimes like really, is it not like this when I was living there?
Yeah.
A lot of things change.
Yeah. I forget what I was going to ask you. Well, what does your dad do? Yeah.
My dad worked at the Killian factory too.
Okay. Yeah. So why how did your family pick Syracuse of all places?
Everyone asked me that. I'm so sad. So,
too bad they didn't pick California.
So I think because when my grandparents worked for America in Vietnam War, and when they come to America, they just pick whatever have a job.
Yeah.
So I don't really remember the story, but basically they have some friend already come to America, and then they come back to Vietnam to visit and told my grandparents because they worry that it's a trick. They didn't go in the very first like couple years.
Yeah.
So they came really late compared with their friend, and they said like, yeah, just come. They have a job. They have a really good life over here. So my grandparents just left all the family back. The two of them moving here, and I think because their friend already live here, so they just come here because they have someone help them. Yeah. And then oh my God, I used to live. Let's think about I live in Saigon. Saigon is like New York City in America.
Yeah.
So when I fly here, I'm like, it passed the city. Like, oh my God, it passed the city already, and then it goes to the farm, and then the city again. It's like, please don't go back to the farm. And then they stop and then like, because it's not. I don't see the Syracuse part. I only see the farm part. I'm like, why so many trees here? Yeah. So I got so upset, But now I actually love Syracuse because like I get used to it. I get used to the road. I get used to the people, the store friend. So I'm like, I'm not moving anywhere.
Yeah. It is tough. I mean, a lot of people. I grew up in Kentucky when I moved here when I was a teenager, and I remember when the terrorist attacks on the Twin Towers happened in 2001. We had gone back to Kentucky. We lived here, and we had gone back to Kentucky a few months after that, and everybody was asking, "Oh, we were so worried about you. Are you okay?" Because people hear New York and just immediately assume New York City. They don't know that New York is such a large state, and that there's New York City is really just a small part of it.
Yeah.
The rest of the state looks like kind of farmland
Yeah.
and grapes, you know, for the Finger Lakes and all that. It is different for sure.
Same thing with the corona happening. My friends
Yeah.
are like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I heard like New York have a lot of like cases and like,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, we totally normal.
Yeah, Syracuse is different. Syracuse
Yeah,
is very different.
I live in a really small town of New York, not the New York City. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Yeah. So where do you get a lot of your inspiration for your cakes and things? Is it is it a lot of it just from like your mom's bakery and from coffee shops back home, or are you kind of looking at like what's happening out of like bakeries in France and New York City and big cities all over the world? Because there's a lot of French influence in especially Vietnamese cooking, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
When I make something, I'm thinking about the flavor. And after the flavor, I'm going to think about how I kind of make the cake. Mm-hmm. It takes a really long time because like whenever I make something, I go online research. I research from Pinterest. I research about Instagram, hashtag. I see other people, what people do.
Yeah.
Some people do a really good job. Some are super professional. Mm-hmm. But like how to make it to be my own thing. So I have to think about, but I only have to get the idea for it, you know, like how people out there doing it, because a lot of flavor to me is really, I never worked with it before. So I want to know how they decorate it for it. And then I see stuff around, like in the summertime, I love to go to Haveners, look at the flour, and then think about how to make that flour into my cupcake. Mm-hmm. You know, it do take a lot of time, but like I say, like it's summer, it's spring. I want something like flower, like colorful, and I want to see from like, because like let's think about how a lot of like artists that draw something, mm-hmm. how some people draw something so beautiful and some people draw something really simple, because they care about detail. And so I'm thinking like, if the more I care about detail, the more I look at the real flower, care about look at how they blooming, mm-hmm. how to put that into the cake. What kind of tool gonna use it? What kind of ingredient? What kind of color? How can mix the color like that? All kind of thing, you know. So like, it a lot from online. That every time I have free time before I go to sleep, I look at people make cake online. But also I see things around it too, like using the ingredient like let's say my apple cinnamon. Mm-hmm. I actually cut the apple like the way my mom cut the apple. My mom cut the pineapple in Vietnam, and then how to use it with the cinnamon stick here. You know, and then see the little bit cinnamon powder from how they make from online to their own product. Like it's all kind of thing together. Yeah. Yeah.
So do you take days off?
I do. What do you mean about day off? Like don't think about.
Yeah.
Honestly though, 2020 I don't work a lot, so my mind cannot really focus on how I doing it. But I really love working. Like to me, if I work 40 hours, I feel like I'm wrong. Like something wrong with me if I work 40 hours, you know.
Because it's too much or not enough.
No, it's not enough. I feel like I love when people call me for problem. I love when like when I talk to my boyfriend on the car, I'm just thinking about something like, how do I make that cake to be like that? Like it's the whole process. Like, okay, when you make a tart, how many days before that you make a base for the tart, and then you make the filling, what a layer gonna put in it. So my brain only keep working with that, and I'm just like, I'm actually happy. I'm like, because the more I working on it, I have more idea, and I want to bring my idea into the table. So I want my mind to run like that, you know. So I don't want to stop. Like I do have some day off when I'm like, oh my God, I'm so tired, whatever. I'm gonna watch movies. So I'm gonna lazy all day. When I'm lazy, I'm super lazy. I'm not gonna do anything. But when I'm working, I want to work like 100%. You know, I want my brain have to be keep thinking. Because I don't want the idea keep like coming out. Yeah.
Well, I am very excited. I love the Salt City Market because it's introduced me to so many people. And, you know, there's, honestly, you and Nyalk, I just being able to talk to you is it's such an honor. It really is. to learn your story just a little bit, and to think that you've come here of all places to Syracuse, and that you're making such amazingly. I mean, I have had your food because I had the Yule log, but such delicious and absolutely beautiful food, and that you're producing this right here in Syracuse is great, and that you're going to be in the Salt City Market is great. And so I just couldn't be happier to know you a little bit, and I can't be even happier that you're going to be having your own bakery here in the Salt City Market. I think it's going to be great.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Honestly though, like, I think being in the Salt City Market really lucky. Like, I never think that one day I have a chance to open business. I want to do it, but I don't know how to start it.
Yeah.
But like, one day people just told me like, hey, apply to Salt City Market. Who have the idea of Salt City Market? I have the idea that bring a lot of people want to open a restaurant but don't know how to start. But they can cook.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They can bake, they can cook, but they don't know how to start to do anything. And then learning too, like, not just learning about business side, but I learning about like the community. I learning about working with other people. I know way more people than I used to be, and I really love that, because like that's how I know Latoya, I know Ngaup, I know Sarah. Like I know the really good people out there that have the same thinking at me. So I really happy. It like really opened my mind.
Well, thank you so much for coming down here to be on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I can't wait for the cafe, for the market to open, and everybody can go out. But in the meantime, if you're listening or watching the podcast, you're going to be doing pop-ups, but also people can go follow you on Instagram. So, yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.